Before we dive into the numbers, I want you to take a deep breath. Just one. Let it out. If you clicked on this video, it's because you're feeling it. That low-level hum of anxiety that sits in the back of your mind when you're standing in the grocery store line, or that slight hesitation before you open your banking app. We've all been there. We live in a world that is designed to keep us spending, designed to keep us scrolling, and frankly, designed to keep us broke. But today on LearnFlow, we are hitting the pause button. This isn't a 10-minute hack video. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme involving some obscure cryptocurrency. This is a conversation. For the next hour, I want you to imagine we're sitting across from each other at a coffee shop. No distractions, no judgment, just a roadmap for how you are going to take your power back in 2025. We're going to talk about things that might make you a little uncomfortable at first. We're going to look at the psychology of why you spend. We're going to dismantle the math of debt. And then we're going to build a fortress around your future through investing and automation. By the time this hour is up, you won't just have tips, you will have a philosophy. You will have a system. Most people go through their entire lives without ever being taught how money actually works. We're taught how to earn it, sure, but we aren't taught how to keep it, and we certainly aren't taught how to grow it. Today, that changes. If you felt like you're running on a treadmill, working harder and harder but staying in the exact same place, this is your permission to step off that treadmill. I want you to get comfortable. Grab a notebook, maybe a pen, and let's settle in. This is going to be the most important hour of your financial life. Let's start at the very beginning. The mind. Section 1, the invisible psychology of money. What if I told you that most of the financial stress you're feeling right now isn't because you don't make enough money, but because you haven't been taught how to speak the language of money? Again, welcome back to LearnFlow. As I said, today is different. I want you to treat this as a personal coaching session between you and me. I remember back in 2019, I was staring at a credit card statement that felt like a death sentence. I had a decent job, but at the end of every month, I had about $12 left. I realized then that wealth isn't a destination. It's a system. We're going to build that system today, piece by piece. Before we touch a calculator, we have to touch your brain. Why do we do what we do with money? Most of us are running on what experts call invisible scripts, beliefs we picked up from our parents or our culture without even realizing it. Think about the phrases you heard growing up. We can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. These scripts stay in your subconscious and dictate your spending habits today. Let's look at the dopamine loop and retail therapy. In a world of one-click ordering and instant gratification, we have removed all friction from spending. When you're stressed or bored, your brain looks for a hit of dopamine. Buying something new provides that hit, but only for about 15 minutes. I'll give you a personal example. I once spent $400 on a high-end espresso machine. I didn't even like espresso that much at the time, but I saw an influencer on social media using one in a beautiful, sun-drenched kitchen. My brain didn't actually want the machine. It wanted the life that the machine represented. I bought it, it sat on my counter gathering dust, and I was $400 poorer with a machine I didn't know how to use. To combat this, you need to reintroduce friction. If you want to buy something that isn't a strict necessity, you must implement the 72-hour rule. Write the item down on a wait list. If after 3 full days you still feel it adds genuine value to your life, then you can consider it. You'll find that 80% of the time, the urge vanishes once the initial dopamine spike levels off. This isn't about deprivation. It's about intentionality and making sure you are the boss of your money, not your impulses. Section 2, the architecture of a modern budget. Now let's talk about budgeting. Budgeting has the absolute worst branding in the world. People hear the word budget, and they immediately think of restriction, starvation, and misery. But here at LearnFlow, we view a budget as a tool for total freedom. It's not about telling you what you can't spend. It's about deciding where your money should go before the month begins. We use the 50/30/20 rule as our foundation, but we're going to break it down much deeper than most people do because the cost of living in 2025 is a real challenge. First, you have the 50% for needs. These are your non-negotiables. Rent or mortgage, utilities, basic groceries, insurance, and the minimum payments on your debt. If this number is higher than 50% of your take-home pay, you are what we call house poor or car poor. You're living a life that your current income can't comfortably support, and that's the primary source of your stress. Next is the 30% for wants. This is the joy bucket. This part is vital. If you try to cut your fun spending to zero, you will eventually rebel against your own budget and go on a spending binge, much like a crash diet that fails. This bucket is for dining out, your hobbies, and that Netflix subscription. The key is to be honest about what actually brings you joy. If you're paying for a gym membership you never use, that's not a want. That's a waste. Finally, we have the 20% for your future. This is the wealth bucket. This money goes toward extra debt payments, your emergency fund, and your long-term investments. This is the money that eventually buys you your freedom. The secret to a successful budget is focusing on fixed costs versus variable costs. Most people exhaust themselves trying to save money by cutting out a $5 latte. While that adds up, it takes a lot of mental energy. However, if you spend one afternoon negotiating your rent, switching to a more affordable phone plan, or refinancing a high-interest car loan, you could save $300 every single month with just one phone call. That's a big win. We want to focus on the big wins first so you have the mental space to enjoy the small things. Section 3, the war on debt. Let's move on to the elephant in the room, debt. Debt is the thief of your future self. Every dollar you pay in interest to a credit card company is a dollar that isn't working for you in the stock market. In 2025, with interest rates being where they are, carrying credit card debt is like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks. There is a massive debate in the finance world about the best way to pay off debt. The snowball versus the avalanche. The debt avalanche method says you should pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first. Mathematically, it's the smartest move because you save the most money on interest. However, the debt snowball method says you should pay off your smallest balance first, regardless of the interest rate. Why does the snowball method often win for real people? Because personal finance is only 20% head knowledge. The other 80% is behavior. I've seen so many people in the LearnFlow community start the avalanche method and give up after 6 months because their $50,000 student loan didn't seem to move an inch. But when you pay off a $300 department store card in 3 weeks, you feel like a winner. You get a psychological win that gives you the fuel to tackle the next debt. Momentum is more important than math when you're fighting for your life. We also need to talk about the myth of good debt. People often say student loans or mortgages are good debt. While they can be, we have to be careful. Debt is only good if it increases your net worth or your income earning potential by more than the cost of the interest. Taking out $100,000 in loans for a degree in a field that pays $30,000 is not good debt. It's a trap. We have to look at the return on investment for every dollar we borrow. Section 4. The engine of wealth investing. You cannot work hard enough to become truly wealthy. Eventually, your body gets tired. To reach financial independence, your money has to work harder than you do. This is the part of the journey that scares people the most, but I'm going to make this so simple a 10-year-old could understand it. Let's talk about the magic of compound interest. Imagine two people, Ben and Sarah. Ben starts investing $200 a month at age 20. He does this for 10 years and then stops completely at age 30, never putting in another cent. Sarah starts at age 30 and puts in $200 a month every single month until she's 65. Even though Sarah invested for 25 years longer than Ben, Ben ends up with significantly more money because he gave his money more time to grow. Time is the most powerful variable in the wealth equation. In 2025, the noise in the investing world is deafening. You hear about crypto, NFTs, AI stocks, and day trading. My advice? Ignore 99% of it. For the vast majority of people, the answer is low-cost index funds. Think of it like this. If you buy one individual stock like Apple or Tesla, you are betting on one company. If that company has a bad year, you lose. An index fund like the S&P 500 is like buying a tiny slice of the 500 biggest companies in the country. You are betting on the entire economy. Historically, the market returns about 7 to 10% on average over long periods. It's boring, but boring is what makes you rich. Here is the investing ladder I want you to follow. First, if your employer offers a retirement match like a 401k match, you take it. That is a 100% return on your money instantly. It's free money. Second, look into a Roth IRA. This is a retirement account where your money grows tax-free. In 2025, with taxes likely to rise in the future, tax-free growth is your best friend. Finally, make sure you have your emergency shield in a high-yield savings account. Don't leave your just-in-case money in a standard big bank savings account earning 0.01%. In today's market, you can find accounts earning 4 or 5%. It's essentially free money just for moving your cash to a better digital bank. Section 5. The emergency shield and peace of mind. Before you go all in on the stock market, you need a shield. Most people call this an emergency fund, but I want you to think of it as your freedom fund. An emergency fund changes the way you experience the world. When your car tire blows out or your water heater breaks, it's no longer a disaster that ruins your entire month and forces you back into debt. It's just an inconvenience that you pay for and move on from. How much do you actually need? The standard advice is 3 to 6 months of your expenses, not your income. But let's be real, if you're a freelancer or if you work in a volatile industry, you should aim for closer to 8 or 12 months. This money should stay liquid. It shouldn't be in the stock market because you don't want to be forced to sell your investments when the market is down just because your car broke. Keep it in that high-yield savings account we discussed. This is the only money you have that you actually hope you never have to use. Section 6. Habits, automation, and the long game. The reason most people fail with money isn't because they aren't smart. It's because they rely on willpower. Willpower is a finite resource. You might be motivated to save money on Monday, but by Friday afternoon after a long week of work, your willpower is gone and you find yourself ordering expensive takeout. The solution is automation. You need to design a system where your money moves itself. Set up an automatic transfer so that the moment your paycheck hits your account, a portion goes to your savings, a portion goes to your investments, and your bills are paid automatically. If you never see the money in your checking account, you won't miss it. You want to spend what is left after saving, not save what is left after spending. We also have to talk about lifestyle creep. This is the silent killer of wealth. You get a $5,000 raise at work, and suddenly you feel like you need a nicer car or a bigger apartment. If your expenses rise every time your income rises, you will be just as stressed making $100,000 a year as you were making $40,000. The goal is to keep your big expenses, your housing and your car, stable while your income grows. That gap between what you earn and what you spend is where wealth is created. Section 7. Conclusion and your first 7 days. We have spent the last hour together, and I want to thank you for sticking with me. We've covered a lot: the psychology of spending, the 50/30/20 framework, the debt escape plan, the power of compound interest, and the importance of automation. But I have to be honest with you. Information without action is just entertainment. I don't want this video to be entertainment. I want it to be the turning point for your life. Here is your 7-day challenge. This is the LearnFlow way. Day 1. Don't change a single thing about how you spend. Just download your bank statements from the last 30 days and look at where the money actually went. No judgment, just data. Day 2. Identify your invisible scripts. Write down 3 things you believe about money and ask yourself if they are actually true or if they are just things you heard growing up. Day 3. Look for vampire subscriptions. Go through your statements and find those $10 charges for apps or services you don't even use anymore. Cancel them immediately. Day 4. Call one service provider, your internet company or your insurance agent, and ask for a better rate. You'd be surprised how often they say yes just because you asked. Day 5 through 7. Implement the 72-hour rule for any purchase over $50. Remember, wealth isn't about having $1 million. It's about having the options that money provides. It's about being able to say no to a job you hate or yes to a trip with your family without checking your bank balance first. You don't have to be rich to start, but you have to start to be rich. If this deep dive brought you value, please hit that subscribe button. It tells the algorithm that long-form, educational content still matters. Leave a comment below with your number 1 financial goal for 2025. I try to read and respond to as many as I can. You've got the blueprint now. Go out there and build the life you deserve. I'll see you in the next one.